Hey YouTubers, this is George. Have something a little different for this video today. This past weekend, I went camping with some friends of mine, a biking group that we made. It's just a bunch of guys grew up together called the Biking Vikings. We used to camp every year at Raystown Lake, Pennsylvania, for an event called Dirt Fest. Group, we'd get anywhere from 12 to 20 some people every time camping there. Dirt Fest was great. We went there several years from the early 2012-ish to the last Dirt Fest in the late teens. Unfortunately, it was run by Dirt Rag Magazine, and they went out of business, and the event's kind of been canceled since then. So we've been looking for some new things to do. We figured we'd try this place out at Quemahoning. It's a campground near Hollsopple, PA, in Somerset County. One of the guys who camps with us rides there on occasion, and we set up an event here to try it out. So he's leading the ride here. We're trying to catch up to him. The campground there is really nice. I'll put a link to the site in the video description. Campsite website does have a lot of problems though, so there was like an email that we had to do to actually reserve.
You dropped us already.
Mentioning that Ryan already dropped us, but campsite's really nice. It's a family center, so there's no alcohol, but I think if you're discreet and not out of control, it's not a problem. We had two sites. Each tent site can allow up to 6 adults and has 2 parking spots each.
Yeah, here he is.
Probably one of the quietest and comfortable campsites I've ever been on. So it was very nice, picturesque area. This loop that we're doing is called the Q loop, and it goes around the entire lake. The entire ride's about 16.5 miles, maybe a little under 16 and a quarter or so. This video will have the first 10 miles pretty much on the nose. Our ride time for the entire ride was about 2 hours 3 minutes, and like I said, that gets like the first 10 miles. You could probably, if you ever want to try it, certainly make sure that you're good for about 16 and a quarter miles. It's not overly demanding on climbs or technical stuff. It's a pretty nice mix. It's certainly rideable, but there's not a whole lot of opportunities to shorten this ride. So if you run out of gas or something, I guess you could probably take the road and get around a little easier than the trail. But you should be prepared for about a 2-hour ride. I think if you're really going fast, you could probably be somewhere around an hour and a half. But just keep that in mind if you try it. And I will be quiet here for a bit, and we'll watch until the next area for comments. So this turn here starts you on the loop. We're going, I guess this would be counterclockwise around the lake. Trails themselves are decent. They're very similar to Raystown, if anyone's ridden there. They were man-made, machined, a little wide, or narrow, or single track, I should say. Not quite as wide as some others. But these trails are a bit newer. Trail markings have just recently been added, so they're maybe a little bit tough to spot. There's a lot of sections on this loop where you jump onto the road and have to pick up the trail a few hundred feet further up the road, and it's not always evident which direction you need to go. Also, some areas need to be groomed out a little better. There's a lot of high weeds and brush in sections that really did beat up my right arm, especially at times. and some areas where you don't really get the best vision to see technical aspects that may be coming up. There's some turns that are blinded by high brush and stuff with maybe an obstacle right around them, or areas in fields where it's high grass and you'll get some pretty significant undulations on the trail that you can't really see until your bike drops into them. So makes for a little bit of a tentative ride until you get used to the trail maybe and know where these issues are. When I did the first ride, as it was going on, I didn't like hate the trail, but I wasn't like overly excited about riding it again. As I've done the watch through on the video here, certainly better than I remember,
Morning.
and something I probably would try it again if we got a group of guys to camp and go out there and give it a shot. There's also, in addition to this main loop around the lake, there's a handful of little cutoff loops or offset loops that you can do that I think is about another 16 miles from what Ryan said. We didn't hit any on this, but there are some other loops, and to my knowledge I haven't found any trail maps, but there may be some of those available as well. So as this video goes on, I'm cutting out any of the rest points we made just for the fact that there's no reason to sit there and watch them. Guy let go before me. He's one of the Vikings, Dave. When I first found the group and was riding with him, he was probably about the age I am now, and he's kind of one of my heroes at the time. I'm like, you know what? I hope when I'm that age I can be as fit as Dave, and I think I probably met that goal. Now Dave riding there, he's at 67 years old, and still my goal. Hopefully, when I reach that age, I can still come out and ride and enjoy the trails the way Dave does. So, Dave here, he gets a
telephone call for Dave.
what sounds like a telephone call to me, but he has issues with diabetes, and it's
just high.
Measuring his sugar there, which he had to manage for the whole day, which made for a bit of a rough day for him. But we were just out for a casual ride. The three of us who on this trip, we were the only ones that could make it. I was hoping for closer to 12 guys or so, but life happens as you get older, and a bunch of people just couldn't make the trip this time. But we made the best of it and still had a good ride and some good time together.
We'll ride and bring it down.
It
should.
I gave myself a little insulin before I left.
Uh-huh.
So you gotta watch it, because it'll get low on me.
Right.
And that's worse than high.
Yeah.
Still makes you feel like sitting a bike either way.
Yeah.
Also took some advice on the telemetry gauges and stuff, moved stuff to the side, made everything a little bit smaller and more transparent. Just trying that out. Have a race coming up at Bear Creek for the Mid-Atlantic next weekend. I think I'm going to try this same setup. Also tightened up the chest harness a bit. Seemed to go pretty good here. I noticed it did bring the camera a little higher, so I'm going to try to adjust the camera down. Tightened it a little bit more after this ride, so hopefully I'll get some test rides in with it on a mountain bike. Make sure I get the camera angle good for Bear Creek, but definitely liking how the gauges look, get a better view right down the middle there, and with them transparent, you can pretty much see behind them if there is anything you want to see where they're at. So thanks for the suggestion.
Nice little surprise drop in there.
So regarding the surprise features on the trail, that little drop into the creek crossing there is about a little surprise, maybe 8-inch to a foot drop in when you're just going down a pretty tame trail. So nothing that you can't ride, but it just kind of came out of nowhere, and thankfully you had a pretty good view of it and could see it. It's just kind of surprising to see.
Achoo.
If you have allergies like me, I definitely make sure you take any of your allergy treatments before you come here. I don't know if it was just the time of year or what was in the air that day, but even with my daily allergy pill, I was really congested and sneezing a lot through the ride here, and stuck with me really for the rest of the day and the next day until I cleared up. So must be some unique pollens or stuff in the air at this time of year there, or just in general there. So keep that in mind so you come prepared.
George, why don't you get ahead of me?
You sure? I'm good. Go ahead.
If you do come to ride Quemahoning, you can ride pretty much any cross-country bike would be fine. I'm riding Trek Super Caliber, which does have the rear suspension just 60 mil, but I think you'd be fine on a hardtail. There are some areas that may give you a little bit of a surprise, the quick little ruts and drop-ins, but you certainly don't need a trail bike. There are a couple sections here that you can really let go and get some good speed, upwards in the 20-mile-an-hour range. Probably could have got a little bit more out of that downhill had I known the trail. Also, with all the rain that we've had in Pennsylvania, some areas pretty slick and thick with mud that would kind of reel me back in when you'd hit them because you weren't sure where the next patch would be. But definitely, you get out there and on a nice dry day and get some familiarity with the trail, you can probably bomb it 25-mile-an-hour plus.
Yeah, it's fun downhill. Get the fog out of my glasses. Now that we're moving.
Yeah, this side of the lake, you pop out in the road like 10 times.
Uh-huh.
So you'll pop out and you'll just come right back in.
Climbs here really aren't too bad.
Yeah.
There's
Looks
one or
steep.
two like this that get pretty steep, but they're not overly sustained. So you come at them at a good cadence, work your way up. Here it peaks at like 21% grade, but then you're at the top. So for all the payback you get on the downhills, the climbs that you need to do are all pretty mild. And don't tax you too much. There's one or two on the parts that are
nice.
outside of what I have videoed that make you work a bit near the end, the last several miles. But again, they're nothing too brutal. You just gotta pace yourself and get through. This was one of the areas that I felt could use a little trail work. Trail's narrow here. It's an off-camber downhill to your left. There's really no trail off the left berm there. And so I was really hugging the right, just getting whipped and torn up on my right arm by some of the brush and thorns and stuff. Thought I may have actually picked up some poison because during the ride, the marks were all pretty red and swollen and stuff, but must have just been pollen or something with the plants because it had cleared up certainly a day or so afterwards, if not just later in the day even. It was certainly already subsiding, but just sections like this, maybe a little bit more of a escape to the left on the berm and less brush would be helpful.
Ooh. It got me. Oh, I'm still coming here.
I got nothing to cut down through.
Nice. Thank you.
So that climb there, I kind of got sucked into a big hard rut
Yeah, really?
from probably fat bikes, and that threw me off course and had to dab there and restart. My buddy Ryan, his tires on his fat bike were kind of higher in pressure, and he started floating around. He couldn't get any traction where my bike was able to cut through. So probably something that just a little bit more riding and evening that trail out, and certainly drier conditions would have helped.
You went around, or we want to wait for Dave? Yep. Hanging in there though. Those rocks are nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel like I'm flying down there.
Yeah.
That is a terrible view.
So is that our camp, like right over that way? Yeah.
I normally park right here.
Okay.
So like this is the last thing you see. This is like the last part of the ride.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's always like pop out of the woods, awesome view.
Yeah. A lot of people fish it for sure.
Yeah, this is all real shallow. Then right under this bridge, it drops off like about 40 feet deep.
Oh, really?
It's real deep, like real sunny.
Huh.
I think it's about 100 plus feet deep at the deepest point. Wow, it's pretty deep.
This section here across the bridge is the most significant road section on the whole loop. For the most part, you're just doing short little sections, nothing this long. If you're enjoying the content, please like, share, subscribe, make some comments, grow the subscriber base. Last video gained like 10 subscribers, so we're moving along. Also, as I always mention, keep the American Porphyria Foundation in mind for any charitable giving. I created an additional link on my channel to podcast that they're doing called Rarely Discussed. I actually should be appearing on that podcast in a week or so. When that episode gets dropped, I'll let everyone know here if you wanted to listen. About a week before this ride, I actually drove to Pittsburgh for one of my treatments. I get an implant every 2 months to help me with the condition. It's great, allows me to get out, but it does mean that day for travel, I pretty much cannot train or ride. And then for 48 hours after, I can't do anything strenuous either. So I lose about 3 days in a week. And then the week prior to this trip, I was on call for work, which really ties me to home and to my pager. So kind of light on training here with Bear Creek around the corner. So I'm hoping that I do okay.
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
A couple years ago, I don't know if the tornado came through or what, but right here, halfway up the hillside, there's a big swath of trees that all came down at one time. Yeah, you definitely got the wrong back tire on yours.
Yeah. It's been cutting through pretty good so far, though.
The campground here at Quemahoning is actually close to a lot of different areas to ride to. You got the trails here. It's not too long of a trip to get to Blue Knob, which is a ski area that has some mountain bike trails. There's a rail trail called the Ghost Town Trail that was about an hour north for me, and then area near Breezewood called the Abandoned Turnpike is about an hour away as well. I'm on a bucket list quest to try to get a ride in every county in Pennsylvania. I got 3 on this trip, thanks to
Oh, that's cool.
Somerset
Yeah,
here
nice
in
and dry.
Mahoning, and then I did Cambria in Indiana on the Ghost Town Trail on the next day. So good place to go and get a couple different rides in. So here in this section, you can see the camera's kind of just a little bit too high. You can see the brim of my helmet. Can't quite see the handlebars. So just going to try to make a little adjustment to get a little more pointed down so you can maybe see just a bit of the stem and possibly front wheel.
That was the cutoff to
Ooh.
Right there, I had my left hand get grabbed by a branch of thorns that dug in through the armor of the glove, so it didn't feel too good. Didn't break any skin or anything, but it certainly pinched and hurt.
That's some good stuff. Yeah, I can see why it would have been tough for you to find where the trail hooks up without.
Then you come down here,
Yeah.
and I rode this road the whole way out.
Did you?
Totally missed the trailhead. I think I'm doing the left, but without a marker,
Yeah.
you would never see it.
Yep.
Once again, if you're enjoying the content here on the channel, just please like, comment, subscribe, send this out to any friends, try to build that subscriber base, and I'll try to keep bringing some more videos to you.
Oh shit. Yep.
Had a pretty long stop there at that last transition that I put in. I added some air to the tire. We ran into another rider that had a trail dog with him, and we're chatting a bit about things. Last section there was pretty quick, fun. It's nice to have Ryan out in front there, putting a good pace down and giving me a good indication of what the trail was going to be like, so I could kind of let it go a little faster too. Fun riding spots.
Yeah.
Another fun little run out there. Ryan got away from me a bit, let me really open it up to try to catch him, and good speed. The second half was a little more fun, I thought, a little more flow, some nice thrown in rock and stuff. More clear, not as much brush as the first part, so enjoying it.
I'm gonna wait here for Dave. We want to make sure you went the right way on the fork.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Nice big rose.
that's downhill once you leave the overlook at Raytown.
Oh yeah.
You have a lake down here. Nice and big, there's like some rollers down here.
Uh-huh.
But it says that Raytown down here. I like it. This is all machine built, but they kept it like narrow.
Right.
But it has a natural feel to it.
Yep.
The Raytown's like 8 feet wide. But I said, on the next downhill section, there's a right-hander that comes up like out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
And there's no room for error.
Okay.
You just kind of be on the lookout.
Almost looks like hydro here too.
Yeah.
Like climbing out, just with the lake on the.
We started at the section.
Yeah.
But there's enough to keep you like occupied.
Yep.
There's enough nuance to the trail that's not like, it's not boring.
Probably the fastest section that I got on tape, on video right here, down this downhill. This was a fun one. Saw 23 on the speedometer a little earlier, so and probably could have got a little bit more out of it if I was a little bit more comfortable with what the bottom of the side of the hill was looking like.
You think they're eventually going to cut those logs a while back down like that, so it's more of a bridge?
Yeah, they did that about a year ago. But you can see where they were cutting a new trail back there.
Yeah, yeah.
On that hill they had. I saw it last time I was here. I don't know what that was. During their trail work day, and mentioned about cutting trailing on this side of the lake. It's not exactly where it goes. But that's fun. That's like right in town.
Yep.
I mean, do you feel like we climbed like a lot to get up to that?
No, it wasn't too bad, huh? There's one more behind us a while. Hi, thank you.
This is the last little bit that I was able to capture on video. I kept it running during our breaks, so got about 2 hours of video, but a lot of it I cut out because it was just us sitting around talking. Hope you enjoyed the overview of Quemahoning. Maybe go check it out. That family rec center, tent campsites with $25 a night. You can have up to 6 adults. Real nice site, like I said, real quiet. Probably one of the most comfortable sites I've been at. All really flat, easy to pitch a tent and not kill yourself sleeping there. So, and fun trails. I think more they get ridden in, better they'll be. And I would think some of the offshoots be interesting to go check out. For me, like I was saying, it's like a 3-hour drive, so tough to do it down and back. Probably want to camp. May have to check it out again sometime. But hope you like the content. If so, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll keep these coming to you. I have Bear Creek coming up in a couple days here for the Mid-Atlantic Super Series. I'll be racing Cat 1 and the 50-59 group. They changed the course again this year, which should be interesting. Last year with the Heckle Pit in, it was a very technical, very hard course. It changed it up to 4 laps. They're keeping a 4-lap format this year, but it's not supposed to be as technical as last. So see how it goes. And I will be wearing the GoPro and hopefully getting some good footage for that. So see you later. Thanks for watching, and you can wind out the last couple seconds here on this video. We'll catch you next time.